The coldest winters of the Balkans, the Siberian forests, and the frozen reaches of Scandinavia hold secrets the modern world has almost completely forgotten. These aren't the tales of kings or armies, but the survival strategies of ordinary people pushed to extremes. Resistance, fighters, trappers, hunters and scouts built shelters that defied detection, not by magic, but through methodical knowledge of heat, earth and air. Today, when drones scan landscapes and thermal cameras make the invisible visible, these centuries-old techniques are more relevant than ever. What you are about to discover goes far beyond historical curiosity. It's the precise, practical wisdom that allowed people to vanish in the wild long before technology existed. If you find this fascinating, take a moment to like, share and comment on this video. And of course, subscribe to The Hard Past so we can uncover more of history's hidden strategies together. The first principle of ghost shelters is understanding the enemy. Most modern survival guides focus on walls, tents and insulation, assuming the problem is the cold. In reality, the problem is heat itself. Every human radiates 80 to 120 watts of heat at rest, comparable to a standard light bulb. Movement, stress or exertion only increases that output. Drones, satellites and thermal cameras don't see through materials. They see temperature differences. Even a simple wooden shelter can glow under a camera if the warmth inside contrasts with the cold outside. Generations of hunters and mountain dwellers knew this intuitively. In Lapland, Kota shelters allowed warmth to blend gradually with the surrounding air, preventing any noticeable heat plume. In the Carpathians, partisans built dugouts lined with cold stones that absorbed human warmth slowly, releasing it evenly so that the exterior temperature remained consistent with the ground. Heat cannot be eliminated, only guided, dispersed or disguised, and understanding this subtlety is the cornerstone of ghost shelter design. Once heat is understood, the second step is mastering temperature balance. Every effective ghost shelter relies on the same strategy: balance, bleed, and match. Balance begins with the choice of materials. Dense earth, clay and timber act as thermal batteries, absorbing and slowly releasing heat, so the shelter never spikes in temperature. Bleeding comes next. Instead of sealing every crack, ancient builders allowed small, controlled escapes of warmth through vents or gaps, letting it mix with surrounding air before reaching the surface. In the 1990s, Balkan fighters left precisely such slits in their dugouts to prevent thermal detection. Finally, matching completes the process. The outer surfaces of the shelter must equalize with the environment. Half-buried structures and snow-covered walls excel here, as soil and compacted snow maintain steady temperatures even during dramatic surface changes. A shelter that matches the environment visually and thermally is nearly impossible to detect. Material preparation was just as critical as design. Winter harvesting, leaching and slow drying were not trivial choices, but deliberate tactics. Trees felled in deep winter contain minimal sap and sugars, preventing rapid heating or moisture-induced hotspots. Logs submerged in icy rivers underwent leaching, removing nutrients and creating uniform thermal behavior. Slow air drying followed, compressing fibers and turning ordinary timber into a near-thermal stone. Fast drying, heat treatments or sun exposure create internal stress points that betray warmth, while patience yields invisibility. Many cultures, from Scottish Highlanders to Northern European hunters, understood that invisibility required time as much as skill. Heat treatment and coatings took this knowledge to another level. Controlled scorching, light charring, or the application of oils, tars and waxes transform material behavior, slowing heat absorption and release. Vikings charred outer timbers. Japanese builders used the yakisugi method. Romanian rebels applied sheep tallow to internal walls. These practices didn't just preserve materials, they shaped them into a buffer against detection, creating surfaces that responded to human warmth slowly and uniformly. Ghost shelter design extended beyond materials to architecture and microclimate. Entrance tunnels, air channels, and asymmetrical roofs guided warm air away from detectable plumes. Igloos in the Arctic exemplified this, with lower entrances trapping cold air and platforms retaining warmth inside, while the snow exterior remained cold to the touch. Smoke, even from small fires, was used to disturb air currents, making thermal detection unreliable. These shelters functioned not just as hideouts, but as environmental machines, carefully controlling convection, air pressure and humidity to blend human warmth into the natural rhythm of the landscape. Finally, the maintenance philosophy ensured survival over time. These shelters were never finished when built. Every season, inhabitants repaired cracks, reapplied oils or tars, and reinforced snow or sod layers. Finnish soldiers in the 1940s scraped inner frost layers. Balkan fighters ran temperature checks on soil. Forest dwellers patched gaps before they could betray warmth. Invisibility was a practice, not a single act. To survive, they listened to their shelters, observed how heat moved through materials, and adjusted constantly. The lessons of ghost shelters remain astonishingly relevant. Modern technology is powerful, but it cannot replace the patient intelligence that shaped these hideouts. Knowledge of heat, air, material behavior, and environmental harmony allows a structure to vanish from sight, even under the gaze of drones. These principles aren't secrets locked in history. They are methods that anyone willing to study, practice, and respect the land can apply. If this journey into the invisible world of ghost shelters inspired you, make sure to subscribe to The Hard Past, like this video, and share it with fellow history enthusiasts. Knowledge may have been nearly lost once, but together we can keep these forgotten techniques alive for the modern age.